today I thought we could pick my November TBR together. I try to read about 10 books a month, but I am notoriously a huge mood reader. So what I'm going to do today is attempt to pick 6. 4 of those I'm just going to pick from my priority TBR and books that I want to read before the end of the year. And 2 of those I'm going to pick from my little TBR jar. If you haven't seen, I have already uploaded a video where I go through these. In here are 30 book recommendations from you guys. I asked what your ultimate 5-star reads were, and I got so many responses, but I jotted 30 of them down. And every month I'm going to pick a couple from this to add to the TBR. So let's start with this. Let's start with the ones that you've picked out for me. I'm going to give it a good shuffle. And I'm praying it's something good. Okay, what do we have first? I feel really nervous opening this. It's like deciding my fate. We have A Rivalry of Hearts by Sonia Odette. My friend Rosie is going to be so happy. Let me go and grab this book. Here is the book. It is book 1 in the Fae Flings and Corset String series by Sonia Odette. This one is a light academia fantasy romance with some spice. This is actually a signed copy that I have, and I love the naked hardback design. And I believe this is a standalone fantasy romance in a connected series of other standalones. So that is the first book the TBR jar has decided for us. Let's pick out a second one. Now, as I said, I try and read about 4 books. I don't know why I just picked that one and put it back in. I'm just giving them a shuffle. I didn't see anything, I promise. As I said, I like to read about 10 books a month. The reason why I am putting about 6 on my TBR is that I still have some options for when the mood reading arises. I can almost guarantee there's going to be a book I forgot about that I want to read next month, so at least I'm going to have 4 spots open for whatever takes my fancy. The next one that the TBR jar has decided for us is the Kindra's Curse saga by Penn Cole. So I'm just going to count for this TBR book 1, which is Spark of the Everflame, but I may well end up getting onto books 2 and 3 this month as well if I have the time. Beth is also going to be really happy. These are 2 books that people have been asking me to read for such a long time. So the first book I've picked for my priority TBR is Quicksilver by Kelly Hart. I have been meaning to read this one for so long. I think I've already uploaded my 10 before the end video. In that video, this made it onto my 10 before the end list, and I specifically said it's because I feel like I'm missing out. I feel like there is some secret that I don't know about, and I have been looking forward to reading this. I just wanted to wait until we were a bit closer to the release of Brimstone, and now is that time. Also, this gives me the vibe with all the snowflakes that it's going to be quite wintry, and I feel like it's going to be a perfect November fantasy romance read. This one is a new release. I'm very excited to read this, but also I want to make sure I read it really soon so that I can review it for you guys close to release, and that is The Wolf King by Lauren Palfreyman. This is Scottish-inspired wolf shifter romantasy. I think this is going to be packed with romance and spice and all of the other delicious things I like in my fantasy books. And as you can see, this is the beautiful hardback tartan proof version, so even more reason for it to be right up there on the list. I've already got a lot of questions about whether I've read this already or what I think about it or whether I'm going to be reading it. So I want to try and read this one earlier on in November, definitely so I can give you guys a review shortly after the book releases, I think at the end of October. But also this is on my 10 before the end, so you can see kind of where I've picked these books from. That is book 1 in the series. I may well get onto book 2 as well because I think that's already available on Kindle Unlimited. And similarly with Quicksilver, I don't actually know when Brimstone comes out. Part of me thinks it is the end of this year, maybe even in November, so if that's the case I may get onto book 2 as well. The last 2 books on my November TBR are both November releases, and the first one is Air of Illusion by Madeline Taylor. I explain a bit more about why this one's on my 10 before the end. In fact, all 4 of these books that I'm showing you that I have picked are 10 before the end books, and I explain a bit more about why this is on that list, but largely it's just because I have had a friend tell me that this is their all-time favourite book, not of the year, not of the month, not favourite romantic book, all-time favourite book ever of all time of any book in the world. So I'm looking at you with a different lens, and now you're staring at me and just singing like, read me, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to. But also this book releases in November, and as I've said, I like to review titles close to when they come out so that you guys can decide whether you want to pick them up or not, or I can help you make that decision. And if you can't tell from the rest of the TBR, I am in such a huge romantasy reading mood at the moment, so I think this is going to be right up my street. And the last book on this list is Hollow by Carolyn Peckham and Susan Valenti, also a November release. This is the first book in a brand new world from the Twisted Sisters. They very cruelly brought us Zodiac Academy, Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac, and Kings of Quarantine, which are some of my favourite series of all time. There isn't a book from the Twisted Sisters that I haven't enjoyed, so I have really high expectations for this one, and a couple of the books that are on this list this month are the first in a series, which this year predominantly I've been trying to read more completed series. But this month it really feels like I'm going to be dipping my toes into lots of different fantasy worlds, and this is definitely one of the ones I'm most excited about. Those are all the books I am hoping to read this November. Just a short and sweet video from me today, but I want to know in the comments below which books are on your priority TBR for the month of November. If If you haven't already, make sure you've liked the video and subscribed, and I will see you in the next one.